You did everything you were told to do. You got the degree, you got the good paying job, maybe even got the car. You moved into that cool little apartment in that one nice neighborhood. Since you're making good money, you're able to afford some minor luxuries here and there. Fancy dinners, a few nice watches, even the occasional vacation. From an outside perspective, you have it all. You're doing well for yourself, you have nice things, you're advancing steadily towards the good life, the American dream. You check every box, so why does it still feel empty? Why does it feel like the more you accomplish these things, the more it adds to that hollow feeling inside you? That's what we're diving into this week. But real quick, if you're new here, hi, my name is Edgar. I make weekly videos around things that I'm still trying to figure out in life, sometimes philosophy, sometimes psychology, sometimes a bit of self-improvement, always about life. If that sounds interesting to you, then consider subscribing so we can figure life out together. Thank you. For the entirety of our early lives, we were raised on a system that was built on a false promise. If you work hard, if you follow the rules, if you check the boxes, happiness will be waiting for you on the other side. As we grow up, we base all of our major life choices on this broken idea. We go to college because it's one of the rules. We check a box by picking the highest paying career path. We work our asses off to get through both of these, and then when we emerge, we're left wondering where all the happiness we were promised is. You see, at face value, there is nothing wrong with this system. I'm sure some people have followed it and found the happiness they were seeking. But the major problem with it is that the system wasn't designed to make you happy. It's designed to make you function, to make you productive, to turn you into a worker bee, if you will. Again, not that there's anything wrong with that, but we're banking our happiness in a system that wasn't built with that in mind. So even if we achieve success within said system, if we achieve life like the one that we described in the intro, we're stuck with feelings of emptiness and lack of fulfillment. In his book, How to Enjoy Your Life and Your Job, Dale Carnegie wrote, "Success is getting what you want. Happiness is wanting what you get." Sure, you may be successful by society standards, but you'll never feel fulfilled if that version of success isn't something you truly wanted. The issue here is that modern society has conditioned us to want some very specific things. The high-paying career, the luxury car, the latest iPhone, things that don't actually bring happiness and that we may not have wanted in the first place if we weren't told that we should want them. Our definition of success has become so skewed that we're not even sure what we want anymore, and you won't be surprised to hear that social media has played a major part in that. About a year ago, I uploaded an entire video on the pressure young people feel these days to get rich, and honestly, not much has changed since then. Algorithms are still pushing and glorifying these 1% lifestyles. They're still saying this is what life could be if you work hard enough, and they're still making us feel like shit for not being at that level of wealth. Thanks to social media, being rich has become so normalized that everyone feels like they're the exception for not having millions in annual income. People feel like they're behind in life, like their life sucks. Social media has effectively ruined the ordinary lifestyle. People no longer desire the cozy home with the white picket fence and a mid-range reliable car in the driveway. They want million-dollar mansions, $500,000 cars. They want private jets and private islands. People aren't satisfied with living a normal life. They want to be extraordinary. But I'm sorry to tell you, the vast majority of us won't ever get there. They're called the 1% for a reason, regardless of what social media makes you believe. It's insanely rare to be at that level of wealth, and making that your entire focus may only lead to disappointment, unhappiness, and feelings of emptiness. And as a matter of fact, while we're on the topic of social media, we may as well talk about overstimulation and how it contributes to those feelings of emptiness as well. Almost everything you see online these days is hyper-optimized for one single thing: to keep you watching. And they do this by overloading your senses to the point where you can't help but watch. Bright colors, quick cuts, eye-catching antics, loud music, all of it carefully selected to release as much dopamine as possible and keep you glued to the screen. If we spend enough time exposing ourselves to this, which the stats say that most of us definitely do, our brains are eventually overstimulated, and as a result, we become desensitized to the real world. Regular everyday life starts to feel too slow, too quiet. Taking a walk or watching a movie starts to feel boring. And when you couple all of that with all the rich lifestyles we see on social media, we start to associate the two. We see those lifestyles as the source of our stimulation. Eventually, even achieving success in the normal, average kind of way starts to feel just meh. A solid annual salary doesn't boost your dopamine. A mid-priced car doesn't feel exciting. If your success isn't top of the line, if the things you own aren't top of the line, then they're not enough. We want more. And wanting something implies that we lack that thing. It implies that something is missing, that there is an emptiness. Our constant desire for more and our keen awareness that we don't have it is what ultimately makes us feel empty despite living generally good lives. These feelings of emptiness and, frankly, numbness lead us to think that there's something wrong with us, that we need to fill some type of void. But if you ask me, I don't think the void is within us. I think the void is actually in the dream life we've been sold. Indian philosopher and writer Jiddu Krishnamurti once said, "It is no measure of health to be well adjusted to a profoundly sick society." Calling our society sick may be a bit debatable, but what's not debatable is that we, as a society, have collectively become obsessed with all the wrong things. Everyone has been convinced that we should all want more money, we should want to be more productive, we should never settle or be satisfied. But that's what the world at large tells us we should want. Have we ever stopped to ask ourselves what we truly want? Sure, money is nice, but if you ask yourself what you really desire, you may find that money isn't at the top of the list. You may find that what you crave is meaningful work, doing something you care about, something that matters, something that makes you feel connected with who you really are. But nobody ever tells you how to find that thing. We just get told to hustle harder, to build our brand, to level up and escape the so-called matrix. But is it just me? Or does this endless hustle loop, this insatiable appetite for more and more success feel like the new matrix? We've all been tricked into believing that if we go after all of this quote-unquote success, we can escape the rat race. But what they didn't tell us is that trying to do so could inadvertently put us in a different type of rat race, one that's effectively more soul-crushing and more difficult to escape. So only one question remains. What in God's green earth can we do about it? Honestly, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. There is no single answer. If you were hoping for a solution, sorry to disappoint you. I hinted at this earlier, but everyone is different. There is no single cookie-cutter answer to any of this. I can't just give you a piece of advice that's going to make all of this go away. But what I can give you is a starting point. Instead of constantly chasing and striving for more, start subtracting. Get rid of the fake milestones you were told to care about. Spend less time on social media and more time trying to figure out who the heck you are and what the heck you actually care about. Turn down the volume of the world so you can learn to hear your own voice again. But if you're really set on adding something to your life to try and fill that empty feeling, may I suggest starting with a bit of faith. I know the idea of God can be a bit controversial and even taboo for some people, but I'm not trying to convert you or anything. I'm just suggesting that you give it a try. If you want to do that but aren't sure where to start, then perhaps this video on religion will point you in the right direction. Click here if you want to watch it. But with that, thank you for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.